this knee guard. He goes knee shield. We're hitting that twister pass, and I'm winding him up, right away. Catching this, I'm gonna make the turn the knees for the spine twist. Then I'm gonna come in, hit the choke. Then I'm gonna keep the control, step over, all the way to the back, and finish the rear naked choke. All right? So coming in, twister pass, I hit the wind up. I turn the knees away for the spine twist. Then I'm gonna get the choke. Then I'm stepping over, holding across, and hitting the rear naked choke. Right? Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. So we'll just start in the side control again. So we're gonna play from twister side again. We're gonna play with this wind up, and another option off of this, which is we're just gonna wind him up and go to the darce. But then when he fights the darce, we're gonna turn it into a crazy little arm lock here. So first I wind him up, I bring him up on his side, just like I was doing before. And this is where, when we're talking about getting that twister from the top, it works better if I bring him up on his side and then I twist him away, right? If he's flat on the mat and I twist him away, he can withstand that, right? It's not as much of a spine twister. But the more I bring him up, the worse it is for him, right? You know, so I want to bring him up for all of these, because this is what exposes his back for me to hit that chair sit, you know, all of those options, right? But right now what we're going to do is I'm going to wind him up and I'm going to hug his head. And then now I'm going to shoot this arm under his arm and grab his neck. And I'm going to hold this in, give him that boogie control, right? So we're here. From here, then I'm going to shoot this arm over. And as I do, I turn it over and I grab my tricep and I bring this in to make this really tight. Once I get here, I'm going to make a fist with this hand. And then I'm going to do what's called a freedom rock on this. I'm going to pull this elbow down with my hand. And then I'm going to square my shoulders up. And then I finish the choke, right? So again, we're here, wind this up, hug the head, come under boogie control, shoot this through, get that tight grip, make the fist, freedom rock, and we have the tap right away. If you can't get all the way to your bicep, your arms are too short, then what you're gonna do is grab right below the elbow, right in here. And I'm gonna grab right on top like this so that when I bring it in, it brings my fist or the back of my hand into his neck, right? So I'm like this, and it gets the same finish.
Are you still making the fist or no?
So with this hand, yes.
Yes, okay.
Right, and then this one, it just drives that in. So now, you know, it feels like, oh, it's not gonna be as tight because I'm not getting here, but it's actually just as tight, sometimes tighter, because now my hand is in there too. Right? And sometimes I'll do that even if I can reach this and I can't finish, if they're not tapping, I'll slide it down and then drive my hand into their neck.
Or if they slip, you can
or if they slip.
save it last second. Okay.
Right? Or if you shoot for it and you just don't get as deep as you wanted to get initially, right? And you're like, oh man, you know, and you're like, I need to work it up. You know, I don't. Just control and finish there. Does that make sense? All right, so let's play with that for a couple minutes, just working on those details, and then we'll come back and I'll show the arm bar off of this. That's pretty slick, right? Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna start the same way. One big detail here when I hit this wind up, right? As I start to open this up, watch how I move my chest so I can roll him up, right? This is where I want him, not here, right? Here's okay for control, but to set up my attacks that we're playing with, I need him here, right? This exposes his back. This sets up the darce. This is gonna set up this arm bar we're gonna hit here in a second. Like, so this is where I need him, right? So one of the things right here as I start to dig for this darce is he's gonna kind of posture his head up and he's gonna take this arm and he's gonna start framing away to start making this space, right? So when he does this, instead of fighting with this, I'm gonna bring this arm over the top, looking for his wrist. Now I'm gonna switch my hips, drop my weight onto his shoulder, and we hit the arm bar.
I thought for sure a back step was coming.
Nope.
I like this, no backstep.
Let's turn you a little bit. All right, so again, I wind him up when I get here and I go to my knees. I back up to bring him up on his side. So we're here. I start hunting for that Darce. He's posturing, pushing away, so I can't get that bite. So I come over the top, grab the wrist, sit out. So I'm over his arm with this arm. I'm pinching his elbow into my hip. All my weight is on his shoulder, right? So then it's weight through my rib cage into his elbow, and I lift up on his wrist. Thumb is pointed to the mat so that the break always happens opposite of the thumb, so the break is going this way. Does that make sense? One more time. You can see it on somebody?
Yes, I can't see you doing.
Okay. I don't know why not, guys. Jeez. So I wind him up, bring him up. I start looking for this. He starts posturing away. So I come over, grab that wrist, just like this. I sit out, and I drop all my weight into his shoulder. Right? So we're here. I'm pinching all of this tight so this stays nice and tight. Just like we do with the arm bar with our knees, right? I got to keep this pinch tight, and then I'm just lifting to the ceiling.
There's no way he can go back to his back.
Even if he hooks that leg, like
The only way he can go is to keep going belly down, right?
I'm scared to do that.
So I'm not going to break you off, right?
I know, but
Now
that's
just
a bad
keep
idea.
taking
That's a
this.
bad idea. Belly down armbar.
That's the only direction you can go. Does that make sense?
Can you hitchhiker out of it? Not really.
No.
You'd have to like front roll, but you can't front roll.
Hitchhike to
So
the
the-
hospital.
so one more time. So the big thing with this is, right, is once I make the switch to it, right, I come here, it's not there, I make this and I catch this, it's both hands on his wrist, right? So like try to even turn your wrist to hitchhiker.
Can you not bring your feet my way? Like,
I twister myself.
you can't grab your leg and just.
Yeah.
Let's try everything on Mel.
Get your arm under him.
Yeah.
Like if he could get to something like that, he might be able to do something.
And reach up and grab
Right.
his own arm through your leg. It is. Try something you're going to walk it off.
I'm also whatever. It's driving into my throat.
Because it's my entire body on his arm, right? So.
What if he's doing that?
He's posted.
Well, so if he's defending that, if he's defending that Darce and he's not pushing, right? Because he's straightening his arm for me, right? That's what sets us up. If he's in here, then that's not the play, right? I'm just getting Darce in here, right? Or I'll switch. Right? So, but it's when he posts to try to get that pressure, because right, I'm trying to drive that shoulder into his neck, so he pushes and he opens that up to get rid of that pressure, and then I can attack the arm. We're getting here, they hit this arm, he starts trying to weasel his way out, he comes back across, he's got a choke arm bar there, or he can come up and hammer lock him, and finish there. Right? Yeah, that's just visually, right? So they only have one way out, and it's to do that, right? And so if they go there,
Yeah, I would. Please. Thank you.
When that's,
same thing.
wind up this one.
We got the wind up. We go to the arm bar just like we were doing. He turns belly down right away. So we come back across. There's the choke arm bar. And then he can come up, shove this up to the hammer lock. And he always has the option to
See this
still
one?
finish the arm bar.
See my hands here.
Go switch back and get it.
Right? You can still finish that. Right? So you can still finish the arm bar even if they go belly down, or you can make it even worse for them. Right? And I hit this wind up and he pulls that arm through, and I miss that. I don't have a good bite here, or I'm not getting real good bite with this. He's just keeping his head flat to the mat. I can't lift it. Right? Where in this situation, I can go right back here and I can hop and I can start coming right to Hell's Gate. and play all of this off of that as well, right? There's always ways back into the legs if they're defending everything up top, right? You know, it's attacking what they're not defending is going to lead you further down the road towards your submission than trying to force something that they're defending really hard, right?
Right, so if you're going for that wind up and he's just being stubborn, just jump over.
Exactly, yeah. It's the same thing. I get here, if I can't wind him up, he just keeps bringing this back down, and I can't get this, and I don't feel like I can make this move to the mount, or I don't want to, right? I just hop over right into Hell's Gate, and the whole sequence is from there, right? So that's all off of that as well. So, but that gives you some options off of that, that twister side. A bunch of different things you can do that come off of that wind up and everything. So you don't have to just go twister side. Oh, all I know here is ninja roll. Oh, everybody knows I want a ninja roll. I can't get the ninja roll, right? So, now you have some other options off of that. You can attack a bunch of the upper body stuff. You can go back into the legs. You can take this a lot of different directions, right?